Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl, Lauren Rei, right here from the Lauren Rei Live Show on Water Ice Radio. And we are back again with another amazing episode. And I'm so excited about tonight. But we got to get pay some bills out the way, some of that stuff. So, Jay, what's up?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. Very excited for this episode. We got a really cool person coming on. But I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
So another week in the house in the snow.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be, I don't know, like it's one of those winters, I think it's gonna be a long one.
It is.
But I'm okay with it. Like whatever.
Are you? I'm not. I'm going a little stir crazy. I'm ready to like break loose. Like I'm about to be one of those like COVID fuck it people, excuse me, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But I know it's
right.
I know it's still very real, so I'm just trying to be patient or whatever. Really quick shout out to everyone from the Water Ice Family Camp. Just want to say hello to everyone, Hector and Farah. But we are about to get started on this show, and I'm excited about tonight because if you are a true Lauren Rei Live fan, you know that when we first started, love, relationships, sex was a huge topic for us on every podcast. This is more when me and Jay were just doing it by ourselves, right? We had our own topics. And then people started to like us and say, yeah, we'll come on the show. So tonight we have someone on, and I'm Jay. I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce who she is and what she does. So you go ahead and take it away.
Well, it's kind of funny because she's pretty much family to the Water Ice family already, because she's basically best friends with our very own Farah. And that's how I met her. And she's had a very cool, she's had multiple careers, but has lived a very cool life. And right now she's a premier matchmaker. So for all those that are looking for love in all the wrong places, you got to give this.
I needed her like a whole year ago.
Right. So you definitely want to look up this woman. She's very cool. But without further ado, let's bring in matchmaker expert Lauren Daddis. Welcome to the show.
Come on. Oh, there she is. Hey, Lauren.
There she is. Hi. Hair all did. Got your hair did.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You don't have a clue. We have been searching for such a long time to have the right person on the show, and this is the perfect timing for this. So again, we want to thank you for coming on. So we are going to jump right into it, right? We know that you have a background in multiple things, but we want to get this out the way. How the heck did you become a professional matchmaker?
It's a good question, and I knew you would ask. So, right place at the right time, which goes to show that anything can kind of happen, which is what I always tell all of my clients. I was out to dinner with a bunch of girls. One of my girlfriends wanted to like introduce all her different girlfriends. So it was a big girls' dinner, and there was a matchmaker there. And most of us were single at the time. And the matchmaker was like so excited. She was trying to recruit everyone, talking to every girl about what she wanted, who she wanted. I have this guy. And I was just watching her, fascinated, like, this is your job. She had been doing it for like 15 years. So I was just picking her brain. And by the end of the night, instead of her recruiting me to like be part of her, a part of her singles, we started talking about me doing this. I was just so interested. I've always been really interested in human connection. I love. So watching it happen, making it happen, it just makes me really happy. And my background is in publicity. So I'm used to kind of helping people create and maintain their images. So it kind of felt like a fit, and I tried it, and I've been doing it almost like 5 years now. And I can't believe that this is like what I wake up every day to do, but I love.
So that must be a Lauren thing, because I'm a hopeless romantic myself. Like, it's so funny. We had one show, someone was like, so Lauren, where do you see yourself next year? And I was like, married. And Jay was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And literally, they all laughed at me. Everyone in the room like laughed. Did you guys not?
I don't know if it was laughing at you. We were just like, yo, like, oh.
How long ago was this?
Like, wow. It was like a year ago.
It was like a year or so ago. Lauren, they laughed at me. I'm very intentional.
I think I was laughing because I was just so shocked by how convicted and how like serious you were. You're like, no, a year. I was like, wait, what? For real? Like,
yeah,
that's what I was laughing at.
Needless to say, I'm not married, but that's not here nor there. My point is that people really do believe in love as much as they say they do. And sometimes it's a little bit, you kind of talked about it, we talked about it offline, but it's kind of like to some maybe a little bit embarrassing a little bit, because being a hopeless romantic, people think that you live on this like cloud, right? And it's not realistic. So you talked about being PR publicist at one point and now Matchmaker. How did the two kind of go hand in hand with your like who you are, your brand, and things of that nature?
Well, I think my publicity background really groomed me to see people for more than they are. The way that we do our matches, I'm really, if you swipe all day long on the apps or you're on, any of the websites, the singles websites, I'm basically doing all of that work for you. So I think my background in publicity, it kind of helps me see like beyond the profile. I'm looking at a ton of profiles and I'm looking at people at like kind of surface level. Mm-hmm. So to really kind of like dig through and get into people. Also, I have to get people to trust me. People are paying me to find them love, but that also comes with like my first question to all of my clients is, so what led you here? And a lot of the times it's deep,
Mm-hmm.
People really, really trust me with their stuff. So I think just, being really trustworthy and just my background in PR, just kind of like knowing what to share, knowing not what to share, really kind of helped me just hit the ground running when I started. I kind of already knew like how to get into that little place of people.
So we want to go into what it is like to be a client of yours, but what is it a day like for you? Like when you wake up and you start your day, what does that look like as a matchmaker?
So it usually starts the night before when I'm laying in bed and I look at my email. I really try to do the work-life balance thing, but anyone that works from home right now during COVID, there is no balance. It's like, it's right here in my dining room. Yeah. But so it starts the night before. I check my email and then I start having anxiety about all of my clients' love lives. Like you think worrying about your love life. I have like 18 love lives that I'm like worried about, thinking about. But I really can't complain. I wake up, I make my coffee, I sit down and check my emails. I usually have, 3 to 7 calls a day, which are Zoom calls, which we're all familiar with. Just where I'm vetting people for my clients or talking to my clients. So those are kind of sprinkled throughout the day. We have a community of about 150,000 people in our database. We work in 11 cities. So I'm just looking all day. It's almost like swiping for you.
How does one become a part of your database? That was gonna be my question was how, when you said you were researching and vetting people, like where do you even get this data or these people from? Do they sign up? Like what? Like, how does that work?
So we recruit on the ground all over, and in non-COVID times, Jay, you've probably seen me out. Like I'm a mover and a shaker. I got my business cards and I'm passing out. I walk up to people shamelessly. I'm like, "Hi, are you single?" We do that kind of thing. So we have in-person recruiting. We recruit a lot on like professional website. Now a lot of it has to be online, unfortunately. I really miss that person to person, like going to events and putting on singles events and that kind of stuff would really get a lot of members. Now we do a lot of it online. We go to professional websites, meetup groups that are online, chat rooms, Facebook groups, that kind of stuff. I even have some clients that'll send me people they found on Bumble, and then I go try to find them elsewhere.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That kind of stuff. It's a lot easier when we can do stuff in person. But our database, so to speak, is made up of our clients, past and present, and then people that we invite to be in our community. Now, the people that we invite to be in our community are heavily vetted. There's no one in there that has not had a personal connection with, one of our matchmakers. So, we always make sure that everyone's there for the right reason, and everyone's there for different reasons. So,
really quick before we go on, did you ever recruit anybody from tailgating at the Eagles games?
Totally. Are you kidding?
What?
I believe it.
I'm surprised you're not in the database, Jay.
Put him in there, Lauren. Put him in there.
I was never recruited. I'm like a 5-star, running back or something.
No,
I gotta recruit
I'm
me.
saving you. I'm saving you in my back pocket.
That's funny. All right.
Those tailgates for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you make your quota. They're like, yeah, I'll do it. Like,
and then they get there and you're like, oh, I had too many beers. Maybe this is not the right fit.
Exactly.
Beginning half of the day. We recruit in the beginning half of the day.
That's good. So from a client's perspective, so let's do hypothetical here. I come to you as a client and say, I'm ready, right? And you ask me, why did I get here? And I give you whatever story I give you. What are some of the other questions that you're asking your potential clients? Like, what are important questions that you would ask?
So before they even get to me, they speak with what we call a member strategist, and kind of like pinpoint their goals. And, everyone can have different goals. Some people want long-term relationship. Some people want marriage. Some people are fresh from, a divorce, and they've been married for 30 years and just want to learn how to date, So
yeah.
You talk with a strategist, and they do a really, really great job of pairing our matchmakers with the right client. So, they decide you and I would be a really good fit. We would get on, usually I'd meet you for coffee or a drink, but we would get on a Zoom call. So we would meet, and we would just kind of go over your history, dating history, family stuff, anything that helps me kind of get to know really what makes Lauren,
Yeah.
And then we go over your goals. We talk about everything. I mean, I've heard it all. Everything from, physical preferences to age, religion, ethnicity, background, family, education, income level, you name it. We just go over everything that they want. Some of my job does entail a little bit of kind of leveling expectations. Sometimes I'll have the women that are like, I don't want to date anyone that's under 6 feet. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great for someone that's 5'10", but you're 5'3". And what if you're the man of your dreams? What if your perfect partner is 5'9"? And you're never going to meet him because you won't look at a guy that's, so some of that talk is kind of realigning expectations, kind of where my PR experience really comes in handy.
Well, that's I'm sorry to cut you off, but that some people look at certain things as non-negotiables. So as a client, if I was saying to you, like, can height be a non-negotiable kind of thing?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay.
Essentially, my job is to help you. So if the height thing is getting in the way of me finding good matches for you, then I would come into you and be like, look, I have found so many great guys that don't meet your height expectation. I really, really think you should reconsider. But if you're like, no, I'd say, okay.
Okay, I get that.
I always do what my clients want them to do, but I'm a matchmaker also that's kind of known for pushing back. Like, I will challenge you. Because I'll never bring you a match that I don't feel really strongly about. So when my clients say no to me, I'm kind of like, do you want to, that happened to me today. I've been looking for a match for a client for like 3 weeks now. It's her first match. She's awesome. I love her. I found this guy. I was like, I found him. I found the guy. she was like, no, I'm gonna decline. And I was just like, you know, so
and that's just based off of physical?
No, this was actually she lives out in LA, and she wants a guy. She doesn't have any family, and she wants a guy with a family that she could join.
Oh.
But she never mentioned it to me, and it's not one of her deal breakers, and I mean, it was never talked about before. However, she also has some like pretty she's in her mid-30s, she doesn't want kids, and she's tattooed head to toe. So right there, those are some pretty difficult, the not wanting kids, male or female, it is a little difficult when you're in your mid-30s, because a lot of people, that's the age where they do want kids.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that are, you know, already make it tough. And she said no, and my heart just broke. I was like, oh. So I'm right now, I'm trying to talk her into it. She could still say no to me, and that's fine, and I'll let her, but I'm still gonna.
Normally people don't want to join the family, because especially if you don't know who was popping with the family.
I said to her, I said, be careful what you wish for, because just because someone has a family doesn't mean it's a good family to join.
It's literally my biggest anxiety, because I'm a huge family person. Jay will tell you, like, me and my family, like, we're super close, tight knit. So it's always about like, oh my God, is my family gonna like him? And then it's like, that's my first thing. And then it's, well, ooh, what is his family gonna be like? And I've always run into that people don't operate like my family. So it's really weird when I have dated someone who doesn't have a very family orientated family. I'm like, what's up with y'all? Like, what's going on? But it's not about me. So
like
but
that makes a difference in compatibility. You probably wouldn't be very compatible with someone that's like not family oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like your description of a matchmaker, you're someone's therapist, their agent, their like confidant, their lawyer. Like, you have to know so much. So it sounds like with your having to juggle 18 different people's love lives, it's a lot of work. So is that like a 24-hour a day sort of thing, or do you kind of give yourself boundaries throughout the days and the weeks?
I mean, just the kind of person I am, if I could work 24 hours a day, I just would. And, you know, you have to have that balance. So I definitely hold like my office hours when I'm in the office, so to speak. But I always make time for clients. And a lot of my clients go out on their dates, you know, at nighttime. So if my client in LA goes out, it's 2 hours later here, 3 hours later here. Sometimes I do get phone calls, or, you know, my favorite are the angry clients. Those you know, late night phone calls.
So what's your success rate?
That's an interesting question. So that's always really hard to measure the success rate, because you know, like I mentioned earlier, everyone comes here for a different reason. So success is different to everyone. You know, some people come looking for marriage, some people are fresh from the divorce. So we kind of like determine goals for each client, and I help them reach their goals. So in that sense, I would say, you know, I do have many happy couples. I have a lot of successful matches.
That's cool.
I have clients that worked with me for a year and are still single, but they gained the confidence to date, and they used, you know, the service as like a growing experience.
So you're putting up Hall of Fame numbers. You're putting up Hall of Fame numbers to say that you're doing well and everybody's 100%. Happy.
if I measure my success rate by happy clients, they're not always happy with me. Not always. Most time, I mean, I hope so, but you know.
Yeah.
We're all.
That's just the way it works.
Yeah, and it's also like a human business, so that's another element. You know, we're dealing with the most emotional thing. We're dealing with like love and heartbreak and all of that. So, you know.
Yeah.
So I used to be really a heavy reality TV junkie. So I used to watch $1 Million Matchmaker, which was one of the first reality shows, right? And I think her name was Patty, if I remember, right? So Patty used to be like, you got to change your hair. You need to lose 10 pounds. You got to do this, whatever. Do you guys have a little bit of that in your when you do your matchmaking, or are you kind of like, we take you as you are?
You know, we always take everyone as they are, but one of the really great things that my company does, and there's a lot of different companies out there, we actually, in your package, when you sign up for a matchmaker, you get date coaching sessions with an actual date coach, because I'm not an actual coach, I just can get coachy sometimes. So an actual like certified coach. My dog's barking right now, working from home at COVID.
Yeah.
But we also do a styling session with a stylist. We call it like a closet edit, where you take them in your closet and they help you like kind of edit your closet. And then we do a photo shoot for them. So when we're presenting these matches, we have professional photos. I always like my girls to get their hair and makeup done for the photos. So while we're not going to change you, we're definitely going to try to make you the best version of yourself that, you know, we can present.
That's fun. That seems like very fun. So do you only take female clients as or
no, we take men. Okay. Most of our clients are female. I'd say it's probably about 80-20.
And do you have male matchmakers as well?
We are actually an all female company.
Okay.
There are male matchmakers out there, but my particular company is all women run, and it's all women. It's actually the first woman-only company I've ever worked for.
So why is it called 3-day rule?
So 3-day. So 3-day rule is like an old school.
Yeah, you gotta wait 3 days to like call her back or whatever.
Yes. Okay.
So the 3-day rule, it's like an old dating rule.
It was a lot of like movies, like teen movies and sitcoms, like rom-coms, like in the 90s, and
yeah,
it was like a thing.
It kind of like insists that a person wait 3 days before, you know, contacting the other person, kind of insinuating that like the same day text or call is too eager. The next day seems planned, but 3 days is somehow the perfect amount of time.
Right.
It's not our secret sauce. It's just the name of our company.
Okay. So you're not suggesting that.
No, I would definitely like to make contact much sooner than 3 days. I should wait 3 days.
So what do you think the top 3 things, since we're going with the number 3, are when your clients come to you and say, I need this, this, and this? What are normally the top 3 things?
Kind, I would say.
Okay.
It's my dog bothering too much.
No, it's fine.
He's barking at his treats.
We can still hear you. We're good.
I would say kindness is probably what I see the most. Income. And not necessarily women looking for men that make more money. A lot of it is equal income.
Okay.
And one that I see a lot lately is like driven and ambitious, but also a new one that has come up is, how are you handling the pandemic?
Yeah.
How are you reacting to the stress? How are you handling a job loss, a layoff, kids being home?
So it's like, how are you basically like adapting? Like, is that person able to adapt to things when things don't go according to plan?
Says a lot about a person, because if you're picking someone to go through life with, you want to know when it comes crashing down, how are they?
That's legit. That's legit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool.
I like that. So I knew income was going to be one of the things.
I thought that was going to be number 1, to be honest. I was waiting for it. I was like, wait, kind?
Well, you know what? So I lied earlier when I said no one asked any questions in our DMs about what they would ask a matchmaker. Someone asked, are you allowed to ask them what their credit score is?
You know, I've actually never had someone ask me that, but I have had women say, like, he must have good credit, own a home.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't mean the actual number, but are they allowed to say, look, he can't be in bankruptcy. He can't, like, we wanted to get a house together. He needs to be able to get qualified.
Totally. And that's legitimate. And I think that's a legitimate ask. So you know how you always have that like one friend that you're like, I saw this guy on Instagram and she's like, I got it. And she like finds him.
I have that friend.
Yeah.
That's us. So like, we can't do like legal background searches, but we're those little, you know, detectives that can find out all kinds of stuff. And a lot of, I mean, you can look up a lot.
I was gonna say most of that stuff is like public records anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
You know, a lot of the women that come to us, they come to us because we're doing all the vetting and it's a safe way to date. You know, you never know who you're going to meet when you're just meeting someone off an app, especially going to meet them in person. Especially now with COVID, nothing's open, going on a walk with a stranger, you don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do a really good job at vetting and making sure that there's quality, safe people in our community.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was when quarantine started, I was thinking about like how people are gonna date, like what are they gonna do, and you know, as time went on, you come to figure out like, you know, virtual dating is a thing, and then I was thinking, I'm like, I think that's actually a better first time to meet someone moving forward. Like meet them online, and then if it's not worth it, then you can just like leave. And then if it's something you want to carry on, like to an actual date, then you go on a date. I was like, that actually makes sense to me.
You want to know why? Because you're a man and you're probably sick of spending money on first dates. And
But that was, you know what though? A, you're right. But B, that wasn't even what I was thinking. I was just thinking like I guess for me it was more so time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to waste my time.
Definitely. I mean, when this all went down a year ago, I was like, that's it. The dating industry's done. I have to find a new job. This was nice while it lasted.
Nah.
Oh my gosh. Business is booming. People want to connect more than ever because we can't, you know?
And we're all lonely and depressed and, you know, they want that interaction.
Yeah, at first people were like, video date, that's weird. I don't want to do it. And I had a lot of clients put their accounts on hold, not want a video date. And then slowly but surely, everyone's doing Zoom meetings and they're getting more familiar. Kids are doing video school, and it's kind of like our new normal. And people are loving the video.
But it's like it's also if you think about like just the way people find dates, you know, there's always like a first like I don't know. But they said that about with the old the VHS dating tapes. They said that about chat rooms, meeting someone in a chat room. They said that about Match.coms and all the other. They said about all that stuff, and then like you saw one person got married from this, and then it was like, oh, well, let me try. And it's just that's how it always works. That's why I was like, it's just a matter of time before like people really start to go into it.
Yeah, and you've seen it with the evolution of the apps. You know, first it was Tinder, and that was like the hookup app, and slowly one by one they became more legitimized, and now there's ones for like millionaires, and there's all different kinds, and they're
different really, your like your religion, like your it's all over the place now.
Yeah,
well, that's a great segue to my next question. How do you feel about dating apps? Like, do you think that at some point people need to learn how to date the old-fashioned way, or do you think that dating apps are here to stay and it's like the way of the world?
I think dating apps are here to stay, but I think that what the dating apps have done is like speed everything up, which I love that how I said the video dates are like slowing dating down. People are like, where people usually, you know, they used to be like sleeping together the first date. Now you're having a video date and like actually talking to the person and not having 6 drinks on your first date and going home with them, you know?
The good old days.
Stop. You can tell your secrets, Jay. I'm not talking about it. No, so like what the apps, I feel like what they've done is they've made people really disposable. You know, everyone, you know, you have the ability to talk to 15 people at a time. So you're not really giving yourself the chance to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 people. I always say to date a couple people at a time until you want to be exclusive with someone. But, you know, you're having surface conversation with 15 different people. Mm-hmm. How far can you really go? And then if someone doesn't respond for a day and a half, sometimes they'll unmatch you. But like, what if you just didn't go on the app for a day and a half? Or what if you got sick? Or what if something happened with your kid? Or, you know, there's all kinds of things. And I think it's just made people like very, very impatient. Yeah. And it's also made people like that checklist that you have. I want this, this, and this, and this. It's like we've turned into baseball cards. We're all baseball.
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. We talk about checklists before. I honestly feel like dating apps are keeping y'all in business. I think they're gonna get tired of doing the disposable. They're like, oh, I don't have time, or now we can't go anywhere. Is there another way to do this? But like for real, and that's when you come in. So I feel like those help you out.
Yeah, people are tired of dating apps. I mean, there are just as many people that don't want a relationship that do. So that's fine. To each his own. People that are
No, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say the people that are really looking for something serious, it's not that those people aren't on the apps. It's just really hard to find because there's so many people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a serial dating app person. Like, you know, I would jump from app to app. I had to learn about Tinder the hard way. Jay actually was like, you know, Tinder is a hookup app, right? And I'm like, wait, what?
It wasn't always. It
was the first one, but it was kind of like the was it not the because there was Grindr for that community, and then it was like the hookup for like, all right, hetero, whatever. Here was
why can't
Tinder.
we have fun too?
Right. And then people are like, oh, I don't want that.
I had some
like getting married off of it, and then they changed it, and that's what they ruined it.
Listen, I had some weird shit happen, and I was telling Jay, and he was like, "Where?" I was like, "Tinder." We were like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, I'm
you're not you're not looking for that. Yeah, that's
right.
The wrong app.
So, I'm one of those people that if you know, God willing, my situation works out, and I end up becoming someone's wife and mom and all that stuff like that. But if it doesn't, I would cringe to have to go back to dating apps because it doesn't matter which one you go to. I feel like you still find, like, I'm not trying to be funny, right? So I've gone to dating apps that are specifically supposed to be for African Americans, right? So, and then I get on there and then there's people who are not ever, and I'm like, why are you in here? Or sometimes you're even swiping and you'll see women in the men pool. And I'm like, no, like that's why they ask you what you're like. If I was looking for a woman, then I would.
That's the wrong button.
Correct. So I just feel like there's so much manipulation sometimes in dating apps that you get tired and you're like, this just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they all work off of algorithms, so there's really no human touch.
Yeah,
and I think that's.
I even tried Christian Mingle at some point. You know what I mean? I'm like, look. Well, at least, we can share the same spiritual background. Maybe he'll be a little bit better. Nada. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah. I've always said, like, is there a right app for someone? But you're always going to run the risk of meeting someone that is just not it.
It also depends on the demographic. Like, so we're talking about Tinder, right? So we're all in Philly, and Tinder here is a hookup app. I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago, right outside of Chicago, small town. Tinder is their dating app, and it's not a hookup app like it is here. Because I was talking to this guy, and he was telling me he was on Tinder. I was like, Tinder? I'm like, oh, you got to get off Tinder. And he was showing me, and I went on his app. It's not like that there. So different areas. Yeah, different areas.
I guess because if you're, I mean, I lived in Chicago for a little while, but being in the city, it's a city. But as soon as you go outside the city, you're in, middle America. So I get it. That makes sense. But if you're in like a city like Philly or New York or something, that wouldn't necessarily be the same thing.
Right.
So one might say, oh, a matchmaker, I know I can't afford this, right? And I definitely don't want to be specific about how much the services cost. But are there levels to it, or is it like a flat rate type of thing?
Yeah, no, there's levels. So we do like 3-month memberships and 6-month memberships, and they come with 3 matches or 6 matches, depending which one. And the dating coaches, the photo shoot, the styling session, all my guidance, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then so we have that. Our packages start at $5,900 and go up. We also have like a VIP package that's like way up there. So we have all different levels, but then of course we also have our free pool, and it's made up of all different kinds of people. It's people that used to be clients that already did their package, but they still want to be part of our community. It's people that want to dip their toe and kind of aren't sure about the whole matchmaking thing yet and want to just try it out. It's people that we've found like specifically for clients that we've invited. So you can still get a part of the action if you don't want to pay and you just want to try it out.
What does one get in the VIP package? Like, what's a part of that?
That would, like, if I was your VIP matchmaker, I mean, it's just kind of like a higher level. So I would give you, like, if I'm your matchmaker now, I say, here's your match. Here's your guy. Here, I found him. I'm exchanging your info. You put your trust in me. Here you go. VIP, we do more of like a, here's 5 options, you know, so it's more of like they have kind of more options, more freedom to like pick and choose, but they also get a more personalized, like, you know, let's say my VIP client was in LA, I would fly out there and meet with them, versus if it was just a regular client in LA, we would be doing video, you know, video stuff like that. I always like to treat every client like VIP though. I mean, for me, the only big difference in that is the actual, like the options, they get kind of like more matches and stuff.
Got you. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe people get what they pay for, and I actually like to hear that, like your business is priced at a higher value, because I think then people would take it more seriously. Because if I, you know, if I'm on Plenty of Fish and it's free, you know what I'm trying to say, anybody can be on there. Versus you say your packages start at $5,900. If I'm going to put out $6,000 for something, maybe I'm really serious about what I want my next step to be, you know, just depending on what that looks like. And do you think you see that level of seriousness with your clients?
Absolutely. And I was actually, that brought up a good point. So let's say you're Lauren in our free pool, and I call you and I say, hey, I have a client, John, that I think would be a really good match for you. So you're a free member, but you'll take this more seriously, because you know that this guy is paying thousands of dollars for me to look for matches. So
yeah, absolutely.
Like, this isn't someone that's going to ghost me, because he's paying for this service. So it shows their level of investment, and also everything you get with the package, and like my service, it's emotional investment, it's a time investment, it's a lot. They're in it, you know. Yeah. There's no ghosting here.
Have you ever had to, unfortunately, end someone's membership because of their level of engagement or bad behavior per se?
Yeah. You know, luckily I have awesome higher ups and bosses. I never have to do that dirty work myself, but I have had a couple situations where clients have, I've had a couple clients yell at me, you know, just kind of lose their cool. And at that point, you really want to have a great relationship, because I'm looking for love for you. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that kind of stuff. I did have a male client that was inappropriate with a couple of his matches that we had to part ways with, that kind of stuff. So even if you're a paying client, you still have to behave.
Absolutely. Have you ever had men be inappropriate to you, or has there ever been anything like that? I want to hear the spicy stories. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. So it's always fun when you do, you know, I'm doing these interviews all day. So like, I like to say I'm going out on the first date for you. That's what I like to tell my female clients. I'm doing the first date for you. So when you go out with them, it's like you're on the second date, and you already, you know that you have all these things in common. So yes, I've definitely had well, I'm not interested in your client, but how about you? Things, and it's always very awkward, and I have to like laugh it off and be all nice, even though I don't want to be. Yeah, don't be such a creep. Like, don't be a creep. Now you can't meet my client. You just ruined it for yourself.
Some of them can't help themselves.
Yeah, it's like I really liked you until you did that.
Now, Lauren, I may want to. Oh no, you go, Jay. Go first.
No, I had another question with as far as just messy stuff. Like, as far as the matchmaker goes, what's their status like? Like, if you look across the board of all the staff, I guess, of 3-day rule, are a lot of them married? Are they single? Are they in relationships? Or this? Or is it kind of a mix of things?
It's a good question. I think we're all kind of all over the place. I would say most of them are probably married. We're kind of a young company. We've been around for 10 years. So a lot of our matchmakers are like, you know, late 20s to early 40s age. So yeah, a lot of them are married. There's lots of new babies in the company right now. But also, you know, there's a divorce. I mean, we're kind of like all over the place, which is great, because then we're really relatable to our clients, you know?
Right.
You know, a matchmaker that's 28 and has never been married, or is you know, a newlywed, is probably not going to be the best match for a bitter divorcee that is
lived life,
kind of hating men right now and wants to, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we'll just say as someone who's lived life, it may not be a good fit for someone who's just like, you know, in La La Land and honeymoon phases. So I was just curious, that's all.
Yeah, we're all over the place. We're all over the place.
So I only have a couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, just in case this whole podcasting thing doesn't work out and I want to change my career, right? Matchmaking would probably be the next step. But no, honestly, if someone would want to be a part of the 3 Day Rule team or wanted to be a matchmaker, what are some things that your team is looking for in someone?
Yeah, so I know that there's like a little section on our website. If you go, it's 3dayrule.com, that like has little bios on everyone on the team, and then I think it says like if you want to become a part of our team. But gosh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would just kind of like immerse myself in like the dating world. There's so many awesome books out there and podcasts and TED Talks and dating coaches, even doing like an Instagram search for like date coaches and following some people and just kind of like learning the industry. It does really mesh with coaching. And I know coaching is like a really big thing right now. There's all kinds of coaches. And it's a really cool thing that people are doing almost in lieu of like different therapies, you know. There's money coaches, there's business coaches, there's sex coaches, there's all different kinds. So I think maybe like exploring different coaching ways and that kind of stuff, and really like learning about all of that stuff. So if you ever do want to go into that, you can present yourself as, you know, knowing about the industry. I mean, it's a big, dating is such a big industry, and there's so many different facets.
So speaking of, that's a good segue for my next question. There's a two-parter. Are there a lot of celebrities that come to you guys, and have you ever hooked up someone, a celebrity with a date?
Question. Go ahead.
Did you?
Yes.
You don't have to say names, but you know.
I will not say any names because I pride myself on being trustworthy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it is a really great way to privately date. So if you're famous, you don't want to be on Tinder. I mean, maybe if you're that kind of famous person, but having your face out there. I'm
gonna put you this way: if you're famous and you're on Tinder, you're doing this whole thing wrong, completely wrong.
That's what kind of famous you are. But yeah,
a couple of celebrities have met their husbands on Bumble. What was it? I don't think it's Melissa McCarthy. It's another famous comedian. She met her husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's funny. What is her name?
Amy Schumer?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I love it.
Yes. She met her husband on Bumble.
That's awesome. But
that makes sense for her.
A lot of celebrities don't.
I mean, I know most don't do that, but I'm just saying, like,
so awesome.
Maybe they're like, well, let's figure it out. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, celebrities come to us all the time. And we work with them all the time. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't want this conversation to end because I could talk about this like dating stuff all night long. But in case we have a listener who wants to be a client of yours, how would they go about it?
So you can go to my Instagram, is a really easy way. It's Matched by Lauren. And there is a link in my bio that will send you straight to our free sign up. If you want to be a member, like part of my free pool, fill it out. I will give you a call. We'll chat. I'll get to know you. I'll help you with your profile and get you in our pool. Or if you're interested in learning more about becoming a client and having a matchmaker work on your behalf, we can talk about that too. But yeah, if you just hit that link, that'll get you in contact with me.
Cool. So we'll have all that information ready for our listeners. It'll be in our information box on our YouTube channel and in the podcast. This was so much fun, Lauren. I really, really appreciate you coming on the show.
What do you say we put Jay into the pool? Jay.
Listen, Judging from your criteria, I do not meet those criteria. I'm not over 6 foot.
No, that's not a
We have all kinds of people.
I'm not.
Someone's criteria.
No, I'm just messing with you. I'll have to think about that.
Why not? What you want to think about?
I'm working. Look, that's another conversation for another day.
It sounds like you need some coaching too, Jay.
Ha!
There you go.
I'm actually really great on dates. That's not the problem. I'm really great on dates.
You're a catch.
Well, I appreciate that.
We'll ease him into the process, Lauren. We'll ease him into the process.
Just get off Tinder to start. No,
keeping it 100. I'm not on any dating apps whatsoever. I haven't been on apps in years, like a couple years now.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got off like 2 years ago. Off all of them. I'm not on any of them. The last time I was on Bumble was because a friend of mine threw an event for Bumble, and you needed to have Bumble to get into the party. I was like, all right.
Funny.
I just like signed in, and that was it. And like I would have friends like I grew up, or not grew up, but I went to school with. They're like, "You're on Bumble." I'm like, "Am I? I haven't been on that in like years," and I had to like delete the account. And yeah, so I haven't been on it in years.
All right, well, Lauren, we'll have a part 2 of this when we add Jay to the pool. We'll ask him about some of
that story.
Exactly.
That's funny.
All right, everybody. So you already know what it is. This is Lauren Reed with the Lauren Reed Live Show. Make sure you are following us on all social media platforms. And also make sure you are following waterice.com. We are your scoop to everything Philly. And you see this cool merch that Jay has on?
You
see it? Make sure you go to the site and check out our shop where you can get your hoodies, because it's still cold outside, everyone, and your hats and everything else is all there. So make sure you check it out. We have some really good stuff coming up for you guys. The Lauren Reed Live Show is back in full effect. We are glad to be back and have these amazing shows like tonight. Because I know we got singles out there. So, and I know some of you got money too.
Okay.
So
Valentine's Day, guys. You need a sweetheart.
People got bread. They could if they want to, they'll do it.
Look, I be seeing those things that y'all buying, that y'all be flossing on Instagram. Y'all could pay this money to get the right guy.
You've got your stimulus check. Save it.
You got that stimmy. Go get yourself a new man, okay? All right, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to jump out of here. And you always know how we end this show. Not all superheroes wear capes, but Jay.
Sometimes they wear headphones.
All right. See you guys later.